How you doing, guys? This is Dan with Laptop Magazine, and we're here with Jeff from Cadillac. And what we're going to do is we're sitting in the Cadillac XTS. It's a kind of a return to form for Cadillac. They had previously done away with their larger STS and DTS sedans. And they had gone with the CTS, was a smaller sedan, and now they're kind of expanding back out to the larger sedans that you remember being Cadillacs. And this is the XTS for 2013. And right now it's running a V6 engine. It's available in front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive variants. But the biggest thing that we want to talk about here is the CUE system and kind of the huge electronics package that Cadillac has put into this vehicle. So, Jeff, do you want to kind of explain CUE to us and kind of some of the features that are available with it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dan. So what we have here is a, starting with CUE, we have a large 8-inch display, and we actually put in a capacitive touch display. So it's similar to your tablet environment or your iPhone or your Android. And what that allows you to do is really walk through in a very intuitive way various lists and things like that. I can drag down the right-hand side to get through the list quicker. I can drag up this side. I can actually flick within the list. So a really intuitive environment for what we always do in our everyday life. Also, what you can't feel, but I can feel when I touch the screen, is haptic feedback. It's a pulse on my finger that tells me that I've made contact with the screen, and it's really good for driving down the road because I can kind of reach blindly over and actually be able to hit the button I'm trying to hit there. We also put in place the idea of we call it proximity sensing or reveal on approach sensing. And what that allows you to do is it keeps the environment clean when you aren't interacting with the system, and it kind of brings up more information and the controls you'd want to have when you're in that area of the system here. And you just kind of saw it fade out there. So we're in a very clean media player environment. As I approach the media player, I get the controls that would be appropriate for working with the media player. I think another thing to point out here, and they're up on the screen here, which is very exciting, is the idea of favorites. The idea of favorites in CUE has changed greatly over what traditionally favorites are for. We have in the system here, just on the screen, when the volume goes away, we have Pandora as a favorite, obviously running off a phone that's connected. Recently added as a playlist that's on the iPod or the iPhone that's connected, Imagine Dragons and Artist. Starbucks is a POI category, so anywhere I am in the driving down the roads of the streets of New York, I can get to any nearby Starbucks very easily. And then we obviously do radio stations and phone contacts and phone numbers and anything else. So I'm just showing how the Starbucks one works because I think it's pretty exciting. Obviously we have the streets in New York to the right here, and it's searching all the POIs around us, and it will populate us with a bunch of Starbucks that we can easily get ourselves to. There's no shortage here in the city of New York.
And now I want you to kind of show us how you can add something like this to the favorites, how quick it is to just do something along those lines.
Sure, yeah. What I'll do is I'll go back to the media player to do that, if that's all right. Mm-hmm. And we'll just add in one of the songs. So right now we're listening to a song on media player. So if I just press and hold down the favorite here, I can choose to save the artist, the album, the song, or the genre. So I'll choose the artist. And now the Veer Union, which is the song that we're currently listening to, is saved as a favorite here.
All right. And now, one of the other things that I think we should also point out is that you're able to check the weather on CUE. So
Yes.
would you be able to just walk us through that real quick?
Yeah, definitely. So from an 8-inch touch standpoint, I can simply press the weather icon. And when I press the weather icon, what I'm going to get here is I'm going to get the local forecast for, I believe, New York City. Yep, New York, New York. I can get an hourly, 36-hour, or daily. It also gives you map weather on map here. So if I zoom out a little bit, you can see we are in clear New York right now, but we have a lot of weather around us that you can see. And you can also, as we showed earlier, we talked earlier, through the voice recognition button on the steering wheel. I know we'll get into that, but you can search forecasts. Actually, just by touching on the map, I can search a forecast if it's going to go there. And I don't know where I picked, but looks like I'm just scrolling over at this point. But I can also, oh, there we go. I'm in Gurnee, Illinois at this point.
Good town.
Very good town. Or I can do it via speech rec as well.
Right, right. So one of the things that we also want to point out is the 12-inch, I believe, display up here.
Yes.
And what this is it's fully customizable. As you can see right now, we're in a standard layout where we have your tachometer, your speedometer, your fuel gauge, and your oil temperature. We also have the fuel range up here, and if you look in the center here, we have some basic navigation. So it's a zoomed in look. But if you want to change all that, what you can do is you can scroll down into the settings, and just using this button right here, we'll tap in. You go to display layout, and what Cadillac did was they gave you a huge amount of options. Again, this is the simple layout. We can go into performance, which is for, you know, if you really want to test your car's limits. And as you can see, it gives the tachometer and speedometer more of a presence on screen, and it lights it up in red, so it gives it more of a real aggressive feel to it. And if you want, you can also go back. Let's see.
You're in the simple there.
This is the simple. Then we have the performance again, enhanced and balanced, and we'll go to the enhanced real quick.
Which is a very cool layout, by the way.
So what you get down here is you get your settings, or you can also change it to, let's see, we can go back and we can go into the audio, and we can view our audio in there. So it gives the entertainment section more of a prominent display. And we also have still navigation up there, as well as our average vehicle speed and fuel consumption. So it's a huge amount of customization in something that's traditionally static with just a speedometer and a tachometer. And again, you can browse your music selection in here. You can connect to your phone. You can get a larger navigation display. So it's very, very intuitive. One of the other things that we want to point out, as Jeff had mentioned, is the voice recognition feature in the car. So if we tap this, it has natural language recognition. So you don't have to say something along the lines of, you know, call home and speak so deliberately. You can say it naturally, and it will actually call. So we don't have our phone connected, but what we'll do is we'll look up a forecast for, let's see, we're in Gurnee, Illinois. So we'll go back and we'll look up New York, New York. So
say a command or say help.
Forecast for New York, New York.
Say a city and state or zip code for which you want the weather, or say nearby.
New York, New York.
New York City, New York. Is that correct?
Yes.
Finding weather for New York City, New York.
And as you can see, you know, we didn't have to speak so deliberately. We could just say, you know, basic things, and there was no calibration needed. Some of these systems need to be calibrated to your specific voice patterns. They'll ask you to say a certain number of phrases, and this just immediately picks it up. We didn't do any calibration beforehand. One of the other things that we want to point out is this also has complete haptic feedback. So right now, you know, maybe you'd be able to pick up the noise, but you can actually feel. So you can look over and you can, you know, while you're driving, not get distracted. Down below, we'll turn down the fan a little bit. Down below, if you press down, you get a little haptic feedback, and in here, there's a storage container. There's also a USB connection right down there. If you want to close it up, just close it again. There may be some wireless charging involved in that area at some point in the future, but there's nothing right now. In here, we also want to point out that there are some USB sticks, or USB ports rather, and a SD card slot. So you can connect your iPhone, your iPod, any kind of device that you would like to get media off of. So we'll close that up. And finally, what we want to point out, as most luxury cars and some economy cars are doing now, is the XTS has several safety features involved in it. One is the lane departure assist. So if you see this button right here, see it's lit up with an amber indicator. And what that'll do is, as we're moving down the highway or down the road, it'll begin to pick up the lines on the road, so the road markings. And if you begin to swerve or move out of the lane, it will pick up whether or not you're doing it deliberately. And if it senses that you're doing it, if you're not doing it deliberately, rather, you'll feel a rumble in your seat telling you which side you're swerving into. So it's really cool. The rumble in the seat is actually something that I believe Cadillac patented. Mm-hmm. And it's also involved in the forward collision assist. So what we'll do is this little indicator here, we will tap this and it'll bring up the collision alert. So you can have it spaced in whatever way you want. So right now it's set to the furthest distance. So if you begin to get too close to a vehicle in front of you, it will start to alert you via vibrations in the seat. You can also lower that if you'd like to 2 cars or 1, and you'll get it much later. So that's more for aggressive driving. One of the other things we want to point out is we'll put the car in reverse. As you can see, we have a backup camera right here. And when you're backing up, you see those little exclamation point. That is a vehicle passing. And if someone walks behind you, if someone walks in the guidelines here, you get the same kind of exclamation point. The coolest thing, though, is that you also feel it in your seat on whichever side the exclamation point is facing, or whichever side the obstruction is. So it's another cool safety feature that that Cadillac has installed in the XTS. They're also working on active cruise control assist. So some of the other vehicles, the SRX and perhaps future XTSs, will have the features where your cruise control is set, and you can set it to a distance between another vehicle in front of you, set your speed, and if you're, say, at 70 miles an hour and a car cuts you off and they're doing 60, the car will automatically slow you down so that you have the set distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. So again, a lot of technology involved in this car. It's truly bringing technology into the luxury space and the vehicle space at that. So again, this is Dan Howley, and this is the Cadillac XTS.